All right, everybody, we'll give this a little take two. There's a lot of cop action going on out here. Cops going everywhere, all over the place. I had to stop the video to take a peek, see what was going on, see if I could see what was going down. But this is a video that honestly is probably about a week late. We like to cover all of the WrestleMania rumors that are going on. Last week, it was announced that New Day would be your WrestleMania 33 hosts. And honestly, without even really knowing what it is going to be, I've seen people have, emotions all over the board. If this is a good thing or if this is a bad thing. Honestly, when this came across my Twitter board, I didn't really have an emotion to it. My honest first thoughts was, I guess we're not getting that common pre-show four-corner tag team match for the tag team titles. Then I started to think if they were still going to do it, what four other teams would you put out there? I'm thinking that maybe either the Club or Enzo and Kaz would have the titles, and you'd have Sheamus and Cesaro. And then I was trying to pick, what would be the last team to put out there. Not putting the New Day out there. You don't have a true title contender in order to be there. I mean, the tag team titles have been safely around the New Day's waist since well before last year's WrestleMania. Last year, New Day had a match. It's hard to remember. They lost that match to the League of Nations. Nobody lost to the League of Nations. But because it was a 3-on-3 encounter, they did not lose the titles. Wade Barrett was out there on the outside. Then they had the, I guess you can say the League of Legends came down and hit stunners and super kicks, mandible claws all around on Del Rio, Barrett. Who else was in that damn group? The League of Nations. What a fail that was. No good. Honestly, in my mind, I can see New Day coming out to kick off the show and then probably never seeing them again. For the people that think that New Day is going to be all over the show, when Hulk Hogan was the guest host of WrestleMania 30, he came out, he kicked off the show. Rock and Stone Cold came with him. They were out there for what seemed like an eternity, but it really was a good segment to kick off the show. You had three of the biggest, the biggest stars to ever perform in WWE all out there together. And I understand that John Cena was still going to wrestle on the show, but the only thing that would have made that better is if Cena would have come out there to sort of have the WWE, then, now, and forever, all out there at one time together, sharing the same ring. But they all toasted beers together. They had a good time. Then I think Hulk Hogan only showed up one more time on WrestleMania 30. The backstage segment, him and Mr. T shaking hands and ending the feud that had lasted 30 years with Paul Orndorff and Roddy Piper. That was it. The Rock, I think, was the guest host of WrestleMania 32. He came out there. He had that long segment that ended up becoming a match. The only match I think the New Day would be able to make if they figured out that the guest host of WrestleMania has, sort of like commissioner powers or something like that. Because if you think about Rock came out at WrestleMania 27 during the main event, and he restarted the match. He said that no WrestleMania main event was going to end in a countout, and then basically made it where The Rock made it where The Miz kept his championship. The only thing I can think of is if the New Day challenged whoever had the tag titles and then put it on the show. But this year's show, when I think about this year's show, I mean, people are going to think I'm knocking it because of the fact that I'm not going, but this year's show has so many matches that are going to be named on it, but I don't think it's really that strong of a card. Where would they really be able to fit a tag team championship match even on there? With them splitting the brands and having so many titles now, are they really going to be able to have a WWE Championship match, a Universal Championship match, Intercontinental, U.S., Raw Tag Title, Raw SmackDown Tag Title, Raw Women's Champion, SmackDown Women's Championship? Because you got so many matches like, Goldberg and Brock. You've got Undertaker and Roman that are going to be on the card. that aren't even, you know, title matches, as well as the Big Show and Shaq match. That's supposed to be a special attraction. I think that there is good that could come out of this. I would hope that, honestly, New Day doesn't start off the show, even though I talked about the fact that WrestleMania 30, when Hogan, Rock, and Austin came out, it kicked off the show in a really good way. And, of course, from there, you go right into the Daniel Bryan versus Triple H match. To me, honestly, I'm not the biggest New Day fan in the world that's been out there. I haven't been down on them, but, you know, when they had the belts forever, I kept on saying that it's time to end this. And now that they've ended it, and they're still going strong, to me, honestly, it's almost like we've seen everything that they have to do, so I don't know what there is out there. To me, honestly, I want to see WrestleMania get kicked off with a good match. I think that WrestleMania 31 went right into that ladder match, and Daniel Bryan getting the win, Ambrose taking the big bump. Those are memorable moments, and it's a good way to get WrestleMania, kick it off in the right direction. To me, honestly, New Day coming out there and delivering some jokes that some writers wrote for them. To me, maybe they'll bring out some legends, or maybe they'll bring out some, I guess, borderline celebrities or something like that to maybe give it a kick. But to me, honestly, I like to see it in the middle of the show and not in the beginning. I want to see WrestleMania get kicked off and go in the right direction. Lots of action, good times.